And when they na Afro Igbo as na ndị Igbo bụ problem Nigeria nwa. You know that Igbos bụ Nigeria problem. That an Igbo man. Let I go. For the video of a house lady for say leave and go to your home. Leave. Since you say they are marginalized, leave our state. You say you are marginalized. Why are you here? Go back to your place. What do you have to say about that? Non-Igbo problem Nigeria.
Well, it's ignorance. It's caused by ignorance. Even in Igbo land, some people now because we have to say the truth about one. Some people know about after around that's our problem or Fulani. So that is it. So, and like he said just a while ago about universal education, our education system, the faulty. And like one of the podcast episode about one of the group Ibekwa. You hear about one of us talking about, rejig the educational system. Very, very important. In as much as I believe that the West came with a good mind, they came with their education, they came with the advancement of their own ideology. We needed to have, interwoven it with our own, because I will our own system of education. Where that's education for you. So eventually, productive. And actually, certificate. But the most important one is sabi ticket. That is the ticket of what you sabi. The ticket that has to do with your mind, the mind of average young person. So while we need to recalibrate the educational at the initial level, the basic level, the primary school, where the history you talked about should be made a compulsory subject. Because we need to know our history, because you learn from history. You have mistakes, some missteps, like another episode, the weakness or the failing point of somebody like Dr. Nanda Azikiwe. The young persons who are becoming Zikis, like myself, like what he did about expanding the Igbo race. Igbo. Now the Igbo worldview, thank you. Now the African continent or even the global society. There are mistakes that he made that we are supposed to learn from and avoid it in order to make it better. So, the problem of Nigeria, they are ignorant of what they are saying. Just like I just told you, no Fulani, more no Yoruba, like they call the derogatory name, na Fulani, Hausa Fulani, this one, Sabutu and the Sabo of Mana and all those things. An educated mind, I mean, those kind of things. And the educated mind in a PhD. I'm talking about unye understand the concept of Ibirongwe normal life, yeah, contribute to their quota. Because America will always say, think not of what the America will do for you, think of what you do for your country. So, like I said, the ignorant, because the Igbos, when this enterprising spirit, the Yorubas are known for their their own enterprising spirit, but Haka believe in cooperative, yes, corporate existence. And also no had the Hausa Fulanis their own spirit. Like for military enlistment, business here. So well their own, and agriculture as well, they're not well here. So a restructured Nigeria where each component section now I will go see the political zone that could be regions within the Nigerian entity, self-governed, getting their resources, that is generating their resources, paying just like in the 1963 constitution, paying some share of that, contributing that to the federal, a kind of confederate system of government, where we are responsible for our security, we are responsible for even our judiciary, responsible for a lot of things. And if the center will just be for, few things like custom, immigration, external defense, and the rest of them. It will be better for both Igbo, both Yoruba, both Hausas. And everybody will be competing for healthy growth within this kind of arrangement. And the knows all this no okay, onye na-asị no leech on Igbo. Ogwagono munne ha nye ndị Igbo the referendum that they are asking of. Like Gajan and National Assembly they create the framework whereby we can hold referendum plebiscite to understand the number of persons. Because come to think of it, it's not even rocket science to say no when they try out of this marriage, there should be a system where they can determine whether they want to go. I remember not up to 10 years ago, in Scotland hold a referendum whether my happen was it the British arrangement?
Britain hold
no, okay, Britain hold had weapon at EU, but I'm talking about Scotland being part of the great British. At the end of the day, 51 point something percent decided na hamampo, and they are there. So we should have those kind of things, and that is why I'm saying when you something to offer must step forward. Let us go to National Assembly and change that place. Ko garibu ze ba na bia akoso oso akuko udi moto ai ga agba. Udi uno ha ga-ebi. Natasha Asekpa, sexual harassment asero. It should be where we discuss policies that affect the lives of the people. Opero ha na-egbusisi ndị mmadụ. Then, okay, enweru kidnapping the other day. Go vice president, principal na the school ebe kidnap. My mind, I was just at home, I was shocked. I was like, hey, why can kidnap small children, small female children? God, what could be happening to this girl? Like I was only imagining what could be happening to those girls. And in the National Assembly, there is no sense of urgency. In fact, the president was in waving goodbye on just South Africa. That's in a country where calamity struck in less than 48 hours. Everywhere nobody has been sacked. No, the only thing I know is marching order and the assurance. We assure you. You understand? So we need the people to step up, the right thinking persons to step up. Let us take back our society.
Dalo, you made a point that Nnamdi Kanu, what he was doing that time was actually welcome because of Ihene Mendibo. That it was okay at that time, Obido, because this is what was happening to Ndibo, and then you were relieved. Then we go on do Nobi. Why has Igbo political leaders never even added a voice, Can you hear where they can the Igbo politicians? Because for instance, if Igbo politicians can even stage a walkout from House of Assembly, na Igbos are not happy that there will be a change. Why have the Igbo not China politics, Igbo leaders? Why haven't they even played a part in this thing? Why is it a man in London? Why did he take a man in London to set radio to start talking? Until now, Igbo political leaders are not. The only thing that they are after is what they say Nnamdi Kanu is causing in their region. But they've never attended to it. Why do you think that's so? Go ahead, Mbarogoro.
Let me tell you the truth. Ndị a na Abuja represent majority of our legislatures are marrying her there. I'm telling you the truth. This is Southeast. How marrying her there, and you won't blame them. Or all nine with collective vision, political vision on a Southeast and push. We don't have any. Man, open name with a platform. I gano discuss. So this is what we want as Igbo. This is the direction we want to go in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. This is how we will start. Kaisi neba amalite. That is why it is necessary to say a conversation. Alright, busy in conversation. Akpacha ife kwesịrị ime. Onye pụọ eke ọlụ onye ọ na-ekwu nke ewuru gọvanọ ma na-eyi kwesịrị ime. Ewuru legislature, senator, ima na ọlụ gị. So those ones, the issue ha nwe na ha na-eje dia na ka ha za senator, ka ha za House of Rep member. Ha nọcha dia ha chọ political post ọsọ ha ga-abanye. Southeast enwere vision, collective political vision. Ya nwechara individual aspirations. So ya maka o ji fia ha arụ.
But to add to what he just said, isn't it an irony that none that kwesịrị set like our goals? Like unfortunately, these are the leaders that we elect to represent our interests at the national level. Therefore, the 43 plus 15 of them at the National Assembly are actually saddled or should be saddled with the responsibility of bringing the Igbos together. Like, okay, if you put 15 plus 43, it gives you about 68 or thereabout. If I'm not correct. They should come together and add the 5 governors. Then they should marshal out. Or they can even bring up persons that are not elected, like intelligentsias, na the academia, and the professional corporate world, and when distinguish the business world as well. We should bring all these people together, representation, even from the traditional and the cultural angle, to come together and fashion out. So it's their job. When you say that Nenwero, it's as if we are defending them. We are not defending it. It's just that since 1999, we've had plethora of people who are going there for different reasons. Either no foga biaka oje or no feel no turn. I wish him no onye na chikwa na Abuja kwa feel kwa no kwa turn. So at the end of the day, it's a turn by turn thing. So that is why I said earlier that now the generation of the people who, for me, as a 30-something-year-old person, Ndemulai are in their 50s and 60s. They are a huge disappointment. But I am an Jezidin Aleba that we shouldn't be where we fell. We, the new generation, that's why I'm saying, if you are listening to this kind of conversation, search your mind and ask yourself, because a lot of persons are waiting for their visas and their papers. Actually, unfortunately, I'm not part of it because there's a good opportunity to live, and I said I'm not going anywhere. Why? Because where you are going was built by someone. And only has so why don't you sit your butt down and think out how to make this society better? That is why I'm calling on every right thinking person to step forward. Stop allowing the people it is as if the wretchedness or lack of houses. Frustration. No, lack of houses their first life. Because some of the leaders are I can't understand how somebody will want to have plethora of houses in Abuja. Meanwhile, we go multiple houses in maybe their state capital, maybe Nugumo, Anambra, go plenty houses. In a village, you know, one and then I had a cook parks in those houses. I have go abroad for their children.
Offshore account to say.
Do you understand? Then and I start a lot of resources that are not necessary for their 10th generation. Some people still go from this country. You just shut it. So we of this generation must put a stop to that. People who have no business with our leadership should no longer continue after 2027. I'm saying that from 1967 to 2027 is a 60-year period where Igbo has, if I would say, either stagnated or even drifted backward. And I'm saying post 2027, young persons must step up to be part of the system, to be part of the society, to say enough of all this show of shame. Because, like you said, the only thing they did in 2017 was that actually they stepped forward to help Nnamdi Kanu regain freedom. But after that, what happened? And that was why I said that Nnamdi mismanaged it. Because at that point, Nnamdi, with the passion I saw in him, with the fire that he had, ought to be part of the people he threw up responsible leadership in Igbo. But eventually, Soluko have failed. So today, this is where we are.
That is what I'm saying. That time we see Enyere Bell. Man, most of these people ain't no direction. Ojirize nwa your build way.
A build a formidable structure,
sustainable. Only opportunity you to follow your then. For far. Why I'm still now a hammer on Zeke. I told you na Zeke but in Nigeria. But when they hear the Igbo when they buy no, I don't schools, nothing is happening. Within just 26 years.
He was able. Even with the challenges at the time.
In the Europe, but even now I can for the South West na literacy level.
Yes.
I can win more teachers.
Even growth.
Or who's in a business. Even now, one person championed it. Oh, Sabo.
I want to make healthy living a culture in our society. The time also to make exercise, get sweat. That sweat is very important. Ibana garden give bela kokoni very natural food. Or if your body need it, just in your day to choose.
How did the leaders that we're talking about get there? They did not put themselves there. There was an election. Is it not high time that we, the Igbos and the young persons, stop even pointing hands in ụzọ emepesi onye ọbụla bata. For example now, election a kịta atụ kịta na Anambra State, enwe ndị nọ n'ụlọ just na-akpọ iyi, na-akpọ iyi. Ikuzie na onye candidate gị asị gị that you are a fool, that you are onye riri eri. Onye ọbụla email campaign akpọ gị iyi. Email APC asị gị that you are following ndị Hausa. Email apụga asị ha na-egbu anyị. Email YPP asị no. Is it not the high time that we start talking about the importance of us participating in politics as young people? And how do you participate in politics? It is strategy. People like us now, we have to be politically mentored, and we have to support somebody. The man put us in saying as a governor ozugbo. You can do the best no ya ka gini akwu. Man, you put up no ya akwu. Your mate no na una say man, you have joined politics. Can't you face comment that you are doing? Can't you face your content? Can't you face? And more kita na abi this thing kita in the next 10 years, we make more interest. Mba, how want they go old like me? We can call it a bad person. So waka umuha. Asaba na onye abokwa nwa class anyị mgbe nwa onye ori ka ọ bụ kita. Umuha I continue kwa that trajectory of ikpolikwa. Ndị na ebe a. Go ahead.
The difference is in with faulty foundation or faulty system. Like the first question about how did they get in there in the first place? They got in there because of the faulty system. There was a time I had to vote at what result. That was a faulty system.
Yes.
But we've been blessed that in the past, let me use 15-20 years, there has been a departure. In fact, God bless the soul of former President Yaradua, who emerged in 2007 and with his own mouth confessed that the process that brought him to power was faulty. Which is what I'm talking about. And then he committed himself to a process that will be much better. Then in 2007, he raised a committee, I think the Waste Committee. And that committee brought up a report that gave us the much better leadership recruitment process. That is the Electoral Act. It was enacted in 2010. It introduced card reader. Along the line, it introduced the beavers that we are using. That is why it is known that this Anambra election that just passed is acknowledged as the most free, fair, credible election. Now, what the young person needs to do is to build on that.